everyone, welcome back. My name's Dia, and this here's my co-host Odin. Today, we're talking about zombies. Some may call them walkers, some may call them biters, but me, I call them friends. So this is my top 10 most rewatched zombie movies of all time. Starting off number 10 on my list, we have Dawn of the Dead. This was a remake made off the original Dawn of the Dead movie by George Romero in the 70s, and this one came out in 2004. It was directed by Zack Snyder. He's the director that did Sucker Punch and Army of the Dead that's on Netflix. I tried to watch Army of the Dead again because I kind of wanted to put this on my list, but I just couldn't get past the music in the beginning. It was so annoying. So that doesn't take away anything from this movie. Starring Sarah Polley and Ving Rhames. It's a zombie apocalypse movie where the heroes end up holed up in the mall. Which, you know, if you think about it, wouldn't you go to a mall or a store if it was like some kind of apocalypse? I mean, you need food, you need somewhere to relax. You need someplace that you can run, big enough to run away from an area just in case. So I think the mall is a perfect place to be during a zombie apocalypse. So they're stuck in this mall, but then they have to escape from the mall. It's no longer an option to figure out a way to do that. Things that come to mind with this movie is I do think about the old one from the 70s. Have its comedic elements. There's some really gross parts having to do with a zombie baby. So I think it's worth watching even just for that part, but I like it. It's the fast-paced zombies. I think it's the first movie I ever saw that had the fast-paced zombies. So I would definitely give that one a try if you like a lot of action in your zombie movies. Number 9 on my list, I'm going with Zombie 2 by Lucio Fulci. The movie has a setting of these dead residents coming alive, coming after the living on a tropical island in the Caribbean. It all kicks off with a scientist's daughter finding her father's boat is abandoned in New York, so she has to go and investigate. Scenes that really stand out and people actually always remember this movie by is the zombie fighting the shark. Zombie fighting a shark in the water. So that's a really cool scene. I'm gonna see if I can find a clip of it. That scene is kind of like, what? You know, so you would guess with any kind of Fulci has really cool makeup effects. I think it's watch it with your friends movie, or if you want to just feel nostalgic. Number 8 on my list is Return of the Living Dead from 1985. This was directed by Dan O'Bannon. Notable actors in this movie, Linnea Quigley. She plays one of the punk rockers that gets entangled in this zombie fest. And now these zombies, they only want to eat brains, so... So they're not coming after a lot of people I know. The soundtrack for this movie has bands like The Cramps, 45 Grave, and TSOL. So it definitely has a vibe and a spirit. Definitely 80s classic. Has great special effects. It's awesome. Definitely a party movie. Or on your own if you want to feel nostalgic. That sort of thing. So highly recommend that. Number 7 on my list is World War Z, and this movie came out in 2013, directed by Mark Forster, and starring Brad Pitt and that girl from that TV series The Killing. And I thought that was an odd matchup. Did anybody else think that they seemed like an odd pair for that movie? But they also named Brad Jerry, and he does not look like his name would be Jerry. He looks like his name would be Brad or Chad or Vlad. So Brad Pitt's an investigator who works for the government, and he's in this zombie apocalypse outbreak, and he goes many places throughout the world trying to figure out what to do, how to stop this, reverse it, whatever. So it's a super fast pace. The zombies are fast, just like the Dawn of the Dead remake. So fun movie. Things that come to mind is just like travel, viruses, dirty apartment buildings, somewhere in the middle of some other country, trapped, airplanes coming out of the sky, that sort of thing. So definitely like that one. Another fast-paced movie, I believe this one's still on Netflix, is Train to Busan. This is a 2016 Korean horror movie directed by Yeon Sang-ho. It's very fast-paced. It's about, I believe it's subtitled, so I don't believe it's overdubbed, I don't think. I haven't watched it for a while, but a father takes his daughter on a train to go see the mother for some kind of birthday, and some infected woman gets on the train, because you know they're always infected in all these movies. Somebody is patient zero, somebody's coming on and causing all this havoc. Breaks out, and very fast paced. These are fast zombies, super fast zombies. So that should be like a whole genre in itself, super fast zombies. Not like the old school Night of the Living Dead, you know, or Dawn of the Dead, 70s, early 80s zombies. But the later zombies, fast. I guess they're drinking Monster. Number 5 on my list, I have 28 Days Later. So this movie came out in 2002. It's a British zombie post-apocalypse movie directed by Danny Boyle, who also did Trainspotting. So if you want to know the whole premise of this movie, just watch the first episode of Walking Dead. So a man wakes up from a coma, goes out on the city streets, they're all empty, he doesn't know what's going on. Whole Rick thing that happens on the first episode of Walking Dead, and then he slowly discovers infected with rage. It has like a really cool soundtrack to it, whatever music the director picked. Very memorable. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I can like see the whole movie in my head, how it plays out. It's just like, it's really cool. So if you missed that one, well, if you're probably watching my videos, you probably didn't miss this one, so this is old news to you, but yeah, I definitely recommend that one. On my list is a 2009 Norwegian horror movie comedy called Dead Snow. So this was directed by Tommy Wirkola, and this movie is about 7 students that take a trip to a cabin on a side of a mountain in the snow in Norway, and they're all Norwegian. And it's all subtitled, so if you don't feel like reading subtitles, you might want to skip this one until you feel like it, reading subtitles. But it's really funny. It's about these zombies that were, when they were alive, they were Nazis that were in this town that were ran out by the townsfolk out into the mountains, and then they come back for their revenge. You know what happens from there. It's like pretty funny, has some really good special effects in it. Very entertaining. And when I think about this movie, I think about like a cult, snow, mountainsides. It's awesome. So watch that one. Number 3 on my list, I hadn't watched this movie in like years and years and years, so I decided to go ahead and watch it again last night just to have a refresher on it. So this movie is called Dead Alive, also known as Brain Dead, and it is a 1992 New Zealand horror movie directed by Peter Jackson. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings guy did this movie. This movie's weird. weird. So in the opening of the movie is very, the music in the opening of the movie for like I don't know how long is very annoying, like annoying, and it's pretty slow in the beginning, but when the custard scene kicks in, it's pretty disgusting. Like the whole movie's like pretty gross, super gross. I would say that was a level 7 puke fest on the custard. Yeah, it's pretty gross. And there's like a ton of gross crap throughout this movie. Like it's kind of shocking that the same guy who did Lord of the Rings did this movie, but yeah. So basically it's a guy named Lionel who has this overbearing mother, and they go to the zoo. The mother gets bitten by some kind of monkey rat or something like that, and she gets infected. So as infections do, infections spread. So he ends up with a whole house full of zombies. Was that a spoiler? Sorry. I don't know. This has been out for like how many years? 32 years. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. There is a scene in the graveyard where a priest is doing kung fu. It is hilarious. That's probably my favorite part of the movie. I love that one. On my list, I debated putting this one on here because I don't feel like it does have to do with zombies, but it's not the first thing I think of when I think about zombies. So that is Serpent and the Rainbow. This came out in 1988, directed by Wes Craven and starring Bill Pullman. So I love Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman, the main character, is an anthropologist who goes down to Haiti to investigate a drug that they use in voodoo to like basically make people into zombies. So he wants to use it for like surgeries and stuff like that. So he bit off more than he can chew. Things that come to mind with this movie is like being buried alive, like occult things happening, mysterious things of the world. Also, there's a scene where he's like tied to a chair and there's like he doesn't have any clothes on, and there's like a hammer and a nail. So I think Danzig used that in one of his videos. I can't remember what that It's Coming Down video, maybe? I don't know. I think it was banned off MTV or something. I can't remember, but that's probably where Danzig got that, I would assume. So I don't know. I just thought that just came back to my memory, so I just thought I would talk about it. Fun facts about this movie is they were shooting it in Haiti, but the government couldn't guarantee them that no harm would come to them because of the political stuff going on in the country. So they had to end up moving it to the Dominican Republic. It was like, God, can you imagine that? To make a movie and somebody might try to kill you for no reason. So that's my number 2 on that. And my number 1, which if you watch probably any of my other videos, probably know what this number 1 is. I did talk about the remake on number 10, but I have to put the original as number 1. So that is Dawn of the Dead, 1978. It is my first horror movie I ever saw as a little kid in the drive-in theaters. Of course, directed by George Romero. Same plot as number 10. The heroes are trapped in the mall. It only has that awesome 70s vibe. Me and my sister used to call these zombies blue people. The blue people's gonna get you, because in the movie, in the drive-ins, they look blue. They look like blue people, like on the screen to us. So, and they kind of do, like if you watch it later on too, but like to us, it's like Smurf blue kind of, and we love the Smurfs. It was actually shot in the Monroeville Mall in PA, and me and Vincent took a trip there, and we didn't go in. We were just like looking at the mall on the outside. He said it doesn't look the same as it did. Obviously it wouldn't, like that many years later. Fun facts about this: Dario Argento co-financed this movie, and I believe what I read was he did a different version for Italy on this movie, but he put Goblin on the soundtrack, and other various artists. So I think, yeah, I know Goblin. Yeah, definitely. It seems like he always uses Goblin, but I haven't seen Dario Argento's version or haven't really tried to look it up. I know I talked about it one time a long time ago with somebody, but I never... That is on my list to watch. That's my top 10 list. What do you guys think about those movies being on there? Especially Serpent and the Rainbow. How do you feel about that being on there? Odin, what do you think about it? I personally, I still spend a lot of time watching Walking Dead seasons on Netflix, just watching them back to back, and that's like a weekly thing for me. I don't know. A lot of people didn't like The Walking Dead, but I still like them. You know, I do prefer the first and second season, third season. I like all those seasons, but yeah, I still like them. I'm interested. I did watch the first episode of the Rick and Michonne series. I thought it was pretty good, but there's couple parts I was like, ew, like, why did you do that to Rick? Like, a couple parts that I thought, why did you do that to Rick? And I thought, you know, maybe it's going to come down the line, make sense, why. Hey, if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Definitely appreciate it. And I just want to thank you for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one.